Welcome back to the TechCheck download. I'm Ada.
And I'm Pixel, your friendly AI co-host. This is the Tech and Society edition for 9th, 12th grade.
Everything today is real tech news from July 6th, July 17th, 2026. Let's get into it.
Here's what's on our playlist today.
1. SCOTUS and the Texas App Law. 2. Why states regulate AI chatbots. 3. Open source in action. Godot 4.8. 4. The patchwork of phone bans. 5. The Canvas breach. 6. Pathways into tech.
Grab your headphones, let's press play.
Start with the biggest policy story of the window. On July 6th, the Supreme Court declined to pause Texas's App Store Accountability Act, SB 2420.
The law requires under 18 App Store accounts to be linked to a parent with parental consent for each individual download. No blanket approvals.
Important nuance. The court didn't decide the law is constitutional. It just refused an emergency pause, so the law is enforceable while First Amendment challenges proceed.
A Fifth Circuit hearing is expected in early August, and Apple and Google now have to build parent approval flows to comply.
This is the collision of app development, civil liberties, and child safety. Perfect debate material.
An AI literacy story, and we'll keep it at the level of habits and policy. Reporting this month highlights how many teens now turn to AI chatbots for advice and support.
The expert consensus is blunt. A chatbot is not a real person and not a safe substitute for a trusted adult, counselor, or friend.
In response, several states are drafting rules for how AI systems can interact with minors, an area of law moving fast.
The skill to take away is knowing an AI's limits. It can sound confident and caring and still be wrong, and it can't replace a real human when something matters.
If you or someone you know is struggling, talk to a trusted person. That's the move a chatbot can't make for you.
For anyone eyeing a software career, Godot's July 6th release is a case study in how open source really works.
Godot 4.8 Dev 1 landed 314 fixes from 135 contributors, and it made the docked in-editor game view the default for new projects.
Godot is free and MIT licensed, no royalties, and the entire source is public.
Think about the engineering challenge, coordinating 135 people who mostly don't work for the same company, merging their changes without breaking the build.
That's distributed software development, version control, code review, release management, the exact skills the industry hires for.
Zoom out from one state to a national trend. Pennsylvania's House passed a bell-to-bell phone ban 126 to 75, and the Senate advanced its own version.
Governor Shapiro supports it and is pushing for a reconciled bill to sign. As of mid-July, it's advancing, not yet enacted.
The arguments are worth taking seriously on both sides. Supporters point to focus and student mental health. Critics raise emergency access and student autonomy.
And because every state is doing this differently, we're getting a patchwork. The same fragmentation you see in youth online safety law.
If you were writing the policy, what outcome would you measure to know if it's working?
A cybersecurity case study that resurfaced this month in a Worst Hacks of 2026 so far. Recap. Note it actually happened in the spring.
Attackers known as shiny hunters breached Canvas, made by Instructure, defacing login pages at hundreds of institutions and exposing data tied to around 30 million students and staff.
The systemic lesson. A learning management system concentrates enormous amounts of student data in one place. Breach it once, and millions are affected.
For future engineers, that's a design and risk management problem. Least privilege, monitoring, incident response, and vetting third-party code.
For everyone else, it's a reminder that the platforms you're required to use are only as safe as their weakest link.
End on your own pathway into tech. 2 programs show what project-based CS looks like at scale.
Coolest Projects 2026 drew over 15,000 creators from 40 countries across 7 tracks, from Scratch to advanced programming and AI. And 47% were girls, a genuinely balanced field.
Games for Change challenges creators ages 10 to 25 to build games about real social issues with scholarships and recognition on the line.
Here's the career angle: a public portfolio of real projects on GitHub, in a showcase, in a competition, increasingly matters as much as grades for college and jobs.
Competitions, open source, internships. Pick the on-ramp that fits your goals and start building the portfolio now.
That's our show for these 2 weeks.
Youth online safety and phone policy is advancing rapidly and unevenly across states. AI literacy means knowing a system's limits, not treating a chatbot as a person. Open source and public portfolios are real on-ramps into software careers. Centralized edtech platforms concentrate data and risk. Security is a design discipline.
Talk to a trusted adult about anything you saw today. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and keep checking the tech.
All of today's stories come from real, dated news sources, verified before we put them on air.